And welcome back to EDH Deck Building. I am your host, Demo, and it's time for another deck tech. I'm doing one more from Innistrad Midnight Hunt, and it is Gorex, the Tombshell. And people are probably wondering why the heck I'm doing a deck tech for a commander like this. Yes, I know, it is definitely underwhelming, and I'm the guy that does deck techs for underwhelming commanders, so I guess that answers that question. So Gorex is an 8 mana 4/4. That's awful. It's a zombie turtle, so that's interesting. However, as an additional cost to cast this spell, you may exile any number of creature cards from your graveyard. This spell costs 2 less to cast for each card exiled this way. So if we exile 3 creatures from our graveyard, we're only going to pay 2 mana for our commander. That's pretty darn good. And then, of course, we can continue to reduce that as our commander tax goes up and up and up. Has Death Touch, so 4/4 Death Touch, that's not bad. The ability I think we really want to build around here, though, is the last one. Whenever Gorex the Tombshell attacks or dies, choose a card at random exiled with Gorex and put that card into owner's hand. Now, I know that seems very underwhelming, but I think it's a great build around. We get creatures into our graveyard, we can cast our commander for a lot cheaper by exiling them, and then when our commander attacks, we get to put those creatures back into our hand so that we can sort of do it again, right? It sort of becomes a recycle. I know it seems like putting cards from your graveyard to your hand isn't fantastic, but we're recycling those cards so that we can then discard them again and then keep doing the same thing, right? Rinse and repeat. And so we're going to build our deck around a discard theme. For me, that's what I want to do when I look at this commander is I'm going to be putting creatures into my graveyard a lot, and then I'm going to be getting them back to my hand, so that means I can continue to discard them. So we're in a discard theme, so we're going to need cards like Archfiend of Ifnir and Bone Miser. They're going to be giving us advantage to all the discard we're doing. Archfiend of Ifnir is going to put -1/-1 counters on all of our opponent's creatures every time we discard. That's going to be great. Bone Miser. I think we'll probably be discarding creature cards more than anything, so we're going to be creating 2/2 black zombie creature tokens. That's going to be great. By the way, our commander is a zombie, and so is Bone Miser, so keep that in mind. Faith of the Devoted is going to drain our opponents whenever we discard, and so is Feast of Sanity, so those are going to be great in the deck. We got to throw some madness in here, of course, because we are discarding. Big Game Hunter is going to be 1 black mana to destroy a creature with power 4 or greater, and Dark Withering is going to be 1 black mana to destroy a non-black creature. Since we have so many discard effects, it's going to be really easy to get the madness cost here. We also have Grave Scrabbler, and from under the floorboards, Grave Scrabbler is going to cost just 2 mana to get him into play, and when he enters the battlefield, if the madness cost was paid, we can return a creature card from our graveyard to your hand, which of course we're going to be doing a lot of already, and from under the floorboards is going to make zombie tokens. So there's that zombie theme again, and of course Grave Scrabbler is also a zombie, so we're in a discard theme and we're also in a zombie theme. You know, and this is why I got excited about this commander, because it was very easy to fit the discard theme and the zombie theme together. Zombie Infestation and Necromancer Stockpile. There's 2 enchantments that want us to be discarding and are making us zombie tokens. Zombie Infestation, we just discard 2 cards, created zombie token. Necromancer's Stockpile, we're going to pay 1 and a black and discard a creature card, which we want to be doing a lot. We draw a card. If the discarded card was a zombie, we also can create a 2/2 zombie token, which often I think it will be a zombie that we're discarding, like Miasmic Mummy and Rotting Rats. Both zombies and want not just us, but everyone else to be discarding as well, right? We're going to be taking advantage of making our opponents discard as well, I think. Vengeful Pharaoh is a zombie that we want to be discarding into our graveyard, because whenever combat damage is dealt to us or a planeswalker we control, if it's in our graveyard, we can destroy target attacking creature, then put it back on top of our library. Grimoire of the Dead is also going to be great. Gives us that discard outlet that we want, and we put a study counter on it, and then we can remove 3 study counters from it and sacrifice it and put all creature cards from all graveyards onto the battlefield under our control, and they're black zombies in addition to the other colors and types. So again, fitting the theme of discard and also fitting the zombie theme. Cunning Lethomancer and Awaken the Erstwhile. Why not just make everyone discard, right? We can take advantage of the discard and it's going to hurt our opponents. Awaken the Erstwhile is going to be particularly fantastic, obviously, because each player discards all cards in their hand, then creates that many 2/2 black zombie creature tokens. That's exactly what we want to be doing. We also got Necrogoyf and Oppression in this deck. Necrogoyf, again, is just going to be making everyone discard. Also has that madness that we want. also has a power equal to the number of creature cards in all graveyards, so it fits in so many different ways. And Oppression is not a card, as you could probably tell from the name, that a lot of people are going to like playing against. 1 black enchantment. Whenever a player casts a spell, that player discards a card. Definitely a fitting name for this card. Your opponents aren't going to love it. It's going to be great for us though, right? It's going to hurt our opponents every time they cast a spell. They're going to be emptying their hands pretty quick. We're okay with it, right? Again, remember, we're discarding cards into our graveyard, but we are getting them back. You know, so any of these effects that are going to force us to discard, our commander attacks or dies, and we can get some of those creatures back into our hand. So we are constantly refilling our hand, so the discard doesn't hurt us as much. We're in a zombie theme, so I got Call to the Grave in here, Death Baron. You know, I got a bunch of zombie tribal type stuff in here. You can just throw your favorites in here if you want. Diregraph Colossus is going to be great. So is Crypt Breaker. Crypt Breaker also has that discard effect that we want. So it, again, fits with both themes. It really was not that difficult to, once I started digging into it, do a theme of I want to be discarding and also I'm doing zombie tribal. They really do fit well together. A couple other cards that fit really great in the deck. Demonic Embrace. It's an aura. Enchanted creature gets +3/+1 and has flying and is in a demon in addition to its other types. That's going to look really great on our commander, right? Now it's going to be a 7/5 flying death touch. And of course, we all know 7 is sort of that magic number in commander where we can kill someone with commander damage. I wouldn't say this is a Voltron deck by any stretch of the imagination. We definitely are going to be attacking with our commander a lot so that we can keep getting that trigger of returning stuff to our hand. It's a zombie tribal deck, right? We're going to be killing our opponents with our commander, with our other zombies. This is going to be particularly good though because it does give us that 7 that we want. Also gives our commander evasion so that we're okay with the attacking every turn and we don't have to worry about the blocks so much. Demir House Guard is going to be great. Transmute, as I say, is one of my favorite abilities. Works fantastic here because I can transmute, right? I'm discarding when I transmute. So this is a creature going into my graveyard. It's fitting all the other discard themes that we're doing, right? If I have my Bone Miser in play, I am discarding a creature when I transmute, so I'm getting that 2/2 zombie token. Then I can exile it from my graveyard with my commander. Then I can get it back so I can transmute again. We got a bunch of things in this deck that cost 4 mana that we want in our hand for sure. Behold the Beyond is a card that I just don't see in commander nearly enough. I think it's great. It's 7 mana sorcery, but you discard your hand and search your library for 3 cards and put those cards in your hand, then shuffle. So it's a tutor for 3 cards. That's really great. Discarding our hand, maybe we're not even going to have any cards in our hand, or we're going to benefit from discarding our hand, right? We can even go get Shadow of the Grave, which is also in this deck with our Behold the Beyond. Just 1 and a black instant and return to your hand all cards in your graveyard that you cycled or discarded this turn. So now we can just get all those cards back that we just discarded. Or if we cast our Awaken the Erstwhile, we can do the same thing. I think it's a really fun and interesting deck. You know, I saw this commander and of course a lot of people were poo-pooing all over it and saying it's terrible and unplayable, and that always sort of sparks my intuition and makes me want to try and build a at least reasonably viable deck with that commander. And I think this is definitely it. I think the discard theme and the zombie tribal theme really mesh well together, and this commander really enables that. It really allows for you to be doing both of those things fairly successfully. I like this deck a lot. The deck list for it is in the description below. Feel free to take it for a whirl, but that is it for today, and thanks for tuning in.